Assassin's Creed Mirage is finally out today. How exciting, right? A game that's whole appeal is that it's a love letter to the Creed days of old. But I was there for those days of old, and personally, I can't say I really fancy it. Crowded urban environments, challenging combat scenarios, overall less filler, and a bigger emphasis on stealth. You know, what's not to love? Well, I'll tell you. Everything I just listed are core features of what many would consider classic Creed, and that's great. The issue is that Mirage looks a bit too classic. What I'm worried about in Assassin's Creed Mirage is that it will end up being AC2 with a new hat.
But she's got a new hat.
And yes, because the game is out literally today, I haven't played it at the time of writing, but screw it.
What?
We didn't realise this game was scheduled to come out on the same day of the video, so we're doing it anyway.
So fuck it.
I was doom scrolling through Twitter when a brand new trailer for Mirage popped up. So I immediately adorned my Altair cosplay that I keep beside my bed at all times, pressed play. I was eager to see how Ubisoft was going to innovate on a style that captured the heart and minds of many way back in 2007. Short answer is they aren't. The parkour looks, well, like Assassin's Creed, the environment looks sandy, and the stealthing looks alright, I suppose. I mean, everything's there. You can crouch around henchmen with eyesight like a mole, or use your bird vision to get a good look at your surroundings, and you can do a lot of this. But it's what we can't see that has me concerned. It really seems like Ubisoft have done nothing to expand on the formula that we love so much. I mean, I know I said I wanted Creed to go back to his roots, but I thought they'd at least plant some new ones as well. And with the newer RPG titles, this wasn't an issue because regardless of your opinion of that style itself, the new features came from the game's new focus, the RPG mechanics. Strip all those mechanics away, and you're just left with Assassin's Creed 2 Electric Ezio Boogaloo. Classic Creed's focus was always its stealth. Not combat, not level ups, not skill trees, but stealth. And so naturally, Mirage must be focusing on ways to expand the stealth and make it more engaging, right? Maybe expanded movement, you know, that's more stylish and tactical. A thoughtful design that challenges the player.
Did you ever used to skid as a child? I used to love it. Woo! Don't you want to skid?
No.
Or when maybe taking on a situation, bribing guards instead of just killing them.
We need to find a way to get you inside without being seen. You could bribe the guards to look the other way.
I shall see what flavor best suits me.
Or we could just do none of that. That's fine. I don't want to anyway. I think what would have been really cool here is something like what the Hitman games do. See, even outside the world of video games, stealthing at its core is about improvisation. You're trying to finish an objective quietly and neatly, and if something unexpected happens, you need to be ready to adjust your strategy, you know, to make sure things stay neat and quiet. Hitman is a series that plays into this somewhat quite well. Not perfectly, I admit, but the series provides you with a silly amount of ways to handle assassination targets, and as long as you get the job done, there's nothing wrong with the method that you choose. Moreover, the game actually rewards you with hidden achievements and unique set pieces if you happen to trigger certain sequences of events through your creativity.
Who did this? Wouldn't be you, would it?
Baldur's Gate 3, an absolutely phenomenal game, and of course, being a totally different genre from Creed, I think a lot of the combat ideologies would work really well in Creed.
Snatch the loot out of her hands and smash it.
So, for example, in Baldur's Gate, I can shoot an ice arrow at the surface and it becomes slippery. I can create poison gas clouds, you know, spill oil everywhere, then set it on fire. There's so many elemental effects that could be used to get an advantage over your opponents. I think this would translate exceptionally well to a stealth-based action game like Creed. Imagine this. If some guards were filling water canisters from a well or a tap, and using your eagle vision allowed you to see where that water was flowing from, then imagine being able to shoot an elemental arrow like toxic or a poison into that pool, in turn knocking out the guards who drink from it. Or maybe you can knock some nearby boulders into the river, cutting off the water supply, having the guards go investigate this. Options like this would allow a lot more variety and much needed wiggle room in what currently is a really limited stealth system. Because right now, I feel like a group of guards can't be safely assassinated, and my only option is just to crouch in the bush and keep whistling until I watch the same kill animation over and over and over again. And speaking of variety, how about those points of interest? Earlier, I alluded to the fact that the game looks a bit sandy, and what I mean by that is that absolutely everything here is a nice dusty yellow. And as much as I like the colour yellow, it's a bit like my nan. It's quite boring. And because of this, the enemy encounters themselves need to be interesting enough to pick up the slack. Another problem that Creed suffers with because of its stealth system is that every encounter ends up feeling so samey. After doxing your next target, you show up at their house, only to find, oh blimey, it's GuardCon.
Let's hope no one notices me here.
Just like every other mission, point of interest, and notable area in the fucking city. After terribly attempting what looks like a double assassination, you walk about the place until finding the right room with said Templar, Order member, cultist. Get stabby with him, and that's the crux of the assassinating. This can only be done so many times before it's stale. This might be in the name of the game, but I don't think the killing part should be the payoff. It should be about the journey, the trials you go through to get that kill. It's so checklisty. Why aren't the big assassination moments made far more memorable? It would go a long way if each encounter had developing set pieces unique from each other, you know, that changed up the guards' usual behaviours. For example, if a group of prisoners were transported by a wagon, why not be able to sabotage one of the wheels, causing the guards to become distracted and split up, thus creating many new and creative opportunities for a victory royale. Of course, that is a very simple idea, and I'm sure the devs at Ubisoft could almost certainly come up with something much more exciting. Well, actually, maybe not. I am aware there are scenarios within Mirage that play out differently depending on what time of day you do them. However, it is still sneak into the guy's house while he goes belly buys and suffocate him with his favourite body pillow. It's just an extra step to the same unremarkable outcome. With all that said, I'm sure there is some fun to be had in Mirage. There is an explanation, although not being the gaming experience I might expect or want, to why I still play these games to the very day. Mirage serves a purpose, that's not lost on me.
Pointless nostalgia.
I just worry that the classic Creed seems too outdated now. The departure from the stealth archetype to RPG, it was a bold move, and it gave me the notion as a fan that Ubisoft needed to change it up. They needed to give the player more, expanding on what was an excellent foundation. But now by stripping that away, we're just returning back to somewhere that was no longer enough. Anyway, like I said, I haven't played the game yet, so I prepared 2 closing statements that I think will resonate with you best. Please choose the statement that best reflects the game post-launch. Cool, I was wrong, wasn't I? Cool, I was right, wasn't I?